Having good people in your lives is really important at this time, at this incredibly emotionally challenging time. So I don't know if this is going to come as bad news or maybe as a timely warning, but it turns out that having a heavy heart or a lonely heart, that can actually bring about in you a broken and a sick heart. Loneliness, isolation has a strong link with heart disease, according to a new study released by the Heart Foundation today. Dr. Rosanne Freak-Poli is the interim CEO and lead researcher at the Heart Foundation. Rosanne, good morning. Good to talk to you.
Good morning.
How does social isolation or loneliness create heart disease?
We looked at a range of cardiovascular disease risk factors and found that if you have poor social health, so are socially isolated, have low social support, and are lonely, then you have a higher risk of having multiple risk factors for heart disease, lowering the risk. So therefore you have a higher risk of heart attack, stroke within the next 10 years.
So, and that's because of what? Simply because of the emotion that you're feeling or the activities that follow as a result of feeling that emotion?
Well, if you're socially isolated, you're not in contact with people. And what happens is that you are more likely, for instance, to smoke, eat unhealthily, eat poorly, like not your meal times, be physically inactive, and therefore have greater depressive symptoms. And these all affect your cardiovascular disease health.
So it's about really the basics that it always is about, which is about exercise and getting out and being active and not eating badly.
It is on a pathway, is how I think about it. So we know that if you have poor social health, you're 30% more likely to develop coronary heart disease and stroke. It's not simply a big step. There's little steps in there. And one step is obviously the cardiovascular disease risk factors, and that's including cholesterol, LDL, and triglycerides, these sorts of blood measures. But before that, we know that social isolation and low social support increases your stress response to things.
So it's about the stress response, which we know, of course, can bring about, I think, the restriction of the arteries because of the way that our body responds to stress.
That's right. So we are responding poorly because we're in a socially isolated situation. So if someone is in the same situation but not feeling lonely or not isolated, then they may actually respond better.
Rosanne Freak-Poli, good to talk to you. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
Dr. Rosanne Freak-Poli, who's the interim CEO and lead researcher at the Heart Foundation. I guess it's a timely reminder to us, as tough as it can be when you're feeling those feelings, and they're all understandable, to make contact, to reach out, even in a small way. Pick up the phone, have a Zoom call, and try and stay connected. Staying connected will lead to a little bit more physical activity and also a little bit more self-esteem and worth, and a little less stress. The Lifeline number is 13 11 14 if you need any assistance in your life right now. News time now, 9 o'clock.